It's week 14 in the NFL, and it's time to talk if tanking is a real thing. But first, I want to talk to you about a special offer, the Finish Strong special, which I hope to be doing. It's all access the rest of the way through December 31st, 2024. All sports for me, that's college basketball. That's the NFL, where I'm on a 6-1 run over the last couple weeks. That's college football, where I've won 7 out of my last 9 weeks, and it's every single play I make from now through New Year's Eve, covers bowl games, college hoop, rest of the NFL regular season, and I hope to finish strong, and I hope to have you along with me to do that. Team that I don't think is going to finish strong is the New York Giants, and now we have to talk, are they tanking, right? And this comes up every year. It comes up every year for someone where you question the motive of said team in the last few games of the season when it can potentially work out for them to win or for them to be the number 1 draft pick. And I would say in most circumstances, I don't think teams tank because I don't think players tank. Typically, it would be the ownership making decisions that puts a team in position to lose. But right now, I think it might be both for the Giants. And I think that the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will, was Daniel Jones getting benched and then eventually getting released. I don't think, it was reported on that the team did not really agree with that they didn't like the decision to do that. And since the effort has been horrible, and I got to thinking, in the past, like I was always on the side of, okay, players that they're fighting for their livelihood. They're trying to fight for jobs. They're not going to tank. But now the way the NFL has become, where it's like there's just injury after injury, I don't think it really matters. I think if you've got decent players that are able-bodied, they'll end up on a team somewhere. So I actually do think that some of these guys just don't want to play for this organization anymore. I should have seen the writing on the wall for the Giants when Saquon left to go to Philadelphia, and I don't even think he really gave the Giants a chance to match their offer. That's sort of, a good, I think, example of the dysfunction that this organization has had over the last decade plus. And I actually believe that some of these guys are not going out there giving their full effort. And on top of that, they're just not a good football team. And now you've got Dexter Lawrence out for the rest of the year. The one sort of redeeming quality of this Giants defense was the ability to get after the quarterback a little bit. And they're not really going to have that anymore. And I think that could be a real issue in this matchup with the Saints. Remember when the Saints were 2-0 and averaging 45.5 points per game? They were, amazingly, in hindsight, the two opponents they did it against, Panthers and Cowboys, not good football teams, but still. What would the Saints be right now if it wasn't for crippling injury after crippling injury? It's just been all season. It's been one player after the other. And this past week, no different. The Saints are going to lose Taysom Hill for the rest of the season. But I don't think that Taysom Hill moves the needle in this matchup. I don't think the Saints are at just some sort of crazy disadvantage in this matchup, not having Hill, because they should be able to run the ball with ease through Alvin, Kamara, and the offensive line, which actually might get a couple of guys back. So that was sort of like where we started with the Saints. If you remember, I played against the Saints week 1 with the Panthers. A big reason for that was I didn't think the Saints offensive line was healthy. And the Saints have had issues on the O-line all season. But it looks like Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz are both on track to be back and healthy. And that would help immensely. But I also don't even know if it matters that much because the Giants don't stop the run anyway. But it is needed, I think, because Derek Carr, for as good as a quarterback as he is, and I've always been sort of pro Derek Carr, if you can get him moving laterally and you can get him pressured, he will make mistakes. He doesn't move laterally particularly well, doesn't make mistakes under pressure particularly well. But again, without Dexter Lawrence, I don't see the Giants being able to do that. And the Giants haven't been able to stop the run. So why would they be able to stop the New Orleans Saints here, who are still very much in the mix? the Saints come in at 4-8. If you just kind of look quickly, you would probably say, oh, well, the Saints have nothing to play for either, but that's false. The leaders of their division right now are both 6-6, the Bucks and the Falcons. So, the Saints don't control their own destiny, but if they were to win out and finish 9-8, I'm pretty sure that they would be close, that they would have a very good chance to win this division. So it's still, in my opinion, all right there to play for the Saints. And I mean, there's no better sort of match. I mean, if you're the Saints, you couldn't ask for a better matchup. The only thing you could ask for is it not being on the road. But you couldn't ask for a better matchup here if you're the Saints, a Giants team that has pretty much given up on the season, that's probably not going to get a ton of pressure on Derek Carr without one of their better pass rushers in Dexter Lawrence, and a Giants team that struggles to stop the run, which should mean the Saints can move the ball through Alvin Kamara in the run game. So again, like, it's tough to lay points with the Saints or to want to lay points with the Saints, but this is a unique scenario here because I truly believe not only is Giants ownership sort of tanking this season, but it's the rare occurrence where the players seem to be on board. That's something that I think you've looked at bad teams in the past, and I still think the players in a lot of cases were out there fighting, trying to win games, trying to get better, hoping that they were around for next year. I don't think that there's many people or there's many guys on this Giants roster that care if they're around on this team next year. Because the way the NFL works now, if you're good enough, they will find a spot for you elsewhere. And I think I'm not saying it's the whole locker room, but I do think it's a part of the locker room. And in the National Football League, if you don't have an effort from everyone, it's really tough to win football games, especially when you're up against a good football team. And I think healthy, the Saints are a pretty good football team. And even if they're not fully healthy, obviously there's still skill players out. If they have their offensive line somewhat intact, I think their offense works. And I think if their offense works, they probably hammer the Giants here. So it's crazy to think I'm about to suggest this, but I think you should lay it with the Saints this week. The Giants are done. I don't care. I don't think the Giants care if they win another game the rest of the season. And the Saints, they certainly care. And I think they would be a lot better than 4-8 had Carr not been hurt and they had they not had the multitude of injuries they've had to this point. So I'll call it, I think it's Saints -4.5. I'll kind of be surprised if they don't win this game by a touchdown or more. It hasn't made my client card yet, but it's one I'm certainly looking at. So free pick, Saints -4.5, and go check out that Finish Strong special and join me. Let's finish strong and have a great December. Follow me on all platforms at Adam Trigger WT and like and subscribe to the Wager Talk YouTube channel so we can continue to bring you free picks all season long. Hope everyone cashes their tickets this weekend. We'll see you guys next time.